starting to feel familiar. Boy, they're waiting for me. I guess they know today's move day. I've got these cows moving every other day right now because only half of them are here. When I bring the cows from the winter pasture back here to the home ranch, then they'll be on a daily move. As it is right now though, this grass is starting to outrun them, so that's good because I would like to stockpile a little bit of grass here at least before the rest of the cows get back. I hope the winter pasture cows can stay there until the end of May, but that'll be kind of feed dependent. And you know, there's not really a lot I can do about it. I guess I could feed them for a little while over there to stretch it a little bit further and give this ranch a little bit more time to catch up, but we'll kind of have to see how it goes. Grazing cattle is quite the balancing act. You've got to always be considering the amount of feed that you have, the amount of feed that's coming, like in the form of growing grass, and the number of animals that you want to graze on it. Sometimes I like to think that I have it figured out, but it's still something that requires my constant attention. How are the boys doing this morning? Let me guess, guys, you need your water cleaned out and some hay raked up, just like every day. Right there, get yours. Well, shoot, if I was smarter, I would have dumped the water out before I rake the hay up, because now they're all standing right where I need to get to dump it. So hopefully that Bismarck calf will move for me. We'll see. Bad planning on my part. And while I'm waiting for that water to fill up, I brought a can of Rust-Oleum. We're gonna get these block-off plates on the back of the chute painted. I bet you guys thought I forgot about that. Or maybe you forgot about it, but we're gonna do it today. We've got a little bit of everything going on today. I know some things that are gonna happen, but I don't know everything that's gonna happen, so let's just get into it. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. Boy, you just don't really realize how faded your paint is until you get some new paint right next to it. These are the exact same colors, Rust-Oleum Hunter Green, and well, this has been sitting out in the sun for 10 years or so, and that's what happens. And you guys already have hay in it. It's not even full yet. Feeding round bales at a fence line bunk feeder like what I'm doing here, it does work, but it's not nearly as good as this type of like half ring feeder. These are really nice because you can pull the tractor right in here, set the bale down, and they can get around like 75% of it. And they are able to reach across here, and they can eat a lot more of the bale down before I have to come in with a pitchfork and spread it out for them. In fact, full-grown cows, I probably wouldn't have to do any pitchfork work in a feeder like this, but obviously the calves are a little bit smaller and they can't reach their heads all the way across. Unfortunately, over here in the bullpen, this is the only kind of feeder that was really gonna work. I mean, I could have made a half ring feeder like right here where I'm standing and pulled the tractor straight into it, dropped the bale down and done it that way. But it was really important to me that this hay be covered, because when there's only like 1 or 2 bulls in here, I don't think I've ever had one, but when there was only 2 of them in here, a round bale would last them like 10 or 12 days. So if you get a heavy rain on day 1, by the time you get to the end of that feeding cycle, that hay can be pretty moldy and pretty nasty by then. And a lot of people have told me, oh, you need to set the bales on their side and then they shed water. Well, that's true when they have net wrap on them, but as soon as you unwrap them and the animals start tearing into them, the bale loses a lot of those water shedding abilities. So really having the hay covered here for these guys is ideal. The second option, which will hopefully be available to me next year, is that once I get the yearlings out of the little corral and the little field here for the year, then I could open up the elephant gate here and at least just give the bulls access to the little corral here, if not the entire little field. This way, they could have the better feeder. They'd have an automatic water, which, well, they'll have an automatic water by the end of the summer here too, but it would give them more room and just be all around better. The reason why I'm not doing that now, I think I've touched on a little bit in the past, is just this enclosure here is not really like what I would call bulletproof, and it might hold them, it might be fine, but I think if they got a mind to get through that fence, they could pretty easily do so. So I don't feel comfortable putting them out there yet, but hopefully I can get that little corral up to snuff to where I wouldn't mind doing something like that. Next thing I got to do today is get this orchard mowed because, well, for one, it needs it, but also I'm gonna need the tractor probably for the next week with baling, and it'd be nice to just get the orchard mowed so then I won't have to unhook my baler, hook up the mower, you know, back and forth like that. We'll just use a tractor to mow the orchard today, and then I'll be good for a couple weeks before this needs to be mowed again. So during that time, hopefully I can get all my baling done. It's really starting to become evident that these suckers were sprayed. You can see they're burning pretty bad, and a lot of people were kind of questioning whether or not that was a good idea to spray the suckers because they thought that maybe that would hurt the tree. And I guess I should have been a little more clear about that. You can't just go spray any old thing on these suckers. You know, if you were to do Roundup or something like that, that would hurt the tree. But what we're putting on there is just a contact killer, which basically only kills what it touches. So it's not going to have like, what would the word be, like a systemic effect on the plant. It's only going to harm what the spray actually touches, and beyond that it must touch a leaf. So like just touching the bark or something isn't going to hurt the tree either. Let's get the mower hooked up and get to it. Maybe parking the baler right there wasn't the greatest idea. Kind of made hooking up to the mower a little more difficult. We got the orchard all mowed, and I was able to go and get some more rolls of net wrap that I will need once I start baling my field. I checked the hay earlier this afternoon and it wasn't quite ready to go yet. I'd say it needs at least 1, maybe 2 more days to dry it. It's starting to get dark, but we've still got a little bit of daylight left. So I think what I'm gonna do, I've got 2 more pepper plants that need to be planted in the garden, and it's a pretty nice evening. The breeze is picking up, so I think we're gonna do that now. These peppers are gonna have partial shade here, and my wife said that that's the best way to plant them, so that's how we're doing it. I know in the past I've always had trouble with peppers. Well, not always, but I have had trouble, and I think it might have been because of that, because I had them in full sun and they just never could really get established. So hopefully these will do a little bit better with partial shade. Time will tell. Well, kind of a short video today, but I guess that's just the way it goes sometimes. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.